Reasons for buying the 24-105 Mark 1 over the Mark 2. Haven't yet used the Mark 2 at all, but I'm just going by practical elements. I'm not talking about optics. If you want to go on YouTube, there's plenty of people saying that this lens is still very good compared to the Mark 2. So let's just talk about why I went for the Mark 1 again. Brand new copy. I might well go for the Mark II next year and keep this one and see which is better. But for me, a few practical things, and that's what it is. It's not just about optics. It's the fact that when you are moving from 24 to 105, I can do it in one motion. That's a big thing. When people are running down the aisle, being able to just flick your lens and being able to get to 105 quickly, or 70, I found from watching people on YouTube and reviews, because the lens barrel is slightly wider at the zoom area, they're doing this, double. So they're doing two moves. So when the camera's in your hand and you're doing two moves, it slows you down. It might not seem like a big thing, but if you're doing this all the time and you're at a wedding, I found it's massive. And it's one of the reasons I don't use the 24 to 70 Mark 1 is because it was very large in this area. Not yet had a look at the Mark 2, but I think it gets slimmer in this area. I'll have to have a look. But that's a big thing. Being able to flick your lens and be able to get over to 105 very quickly is very important to me. So that's one of the reasons I bought this. I also went to the photography show, picked up the Mark II and couldn't believe it was heavier. And I should think Canon will kick the south on this one because the industry's getting lighter. Everyone wants lighter camera equipment. They don't want heavier camera equipment. So when you bring out a 24 to 105 Mark II and it's actually heavier, that's not what we want. We want lighter equipment. We don't mean majorly lighter. We just don't want to be getting it heavier. And I found that the 5D Mark IV, I think, is actually coming back lighter. But if you go through the 5Ds, I found they were getting heavier. I think they've come back and they've realised, let's make it lighter. The other thing is balance of cameras. So when you've got a camera in your hand, if it's front heavy, you're fighting it. And so your wrist is fighting the camera. So the 5D Mark 1 with the 24 to 105 was perfectly balanced in my opinion. They came in the box together. It was a kit and they're very good balance. When you start putting the Mark II on different bodies, I haven't put the Mark II on the 5D Mark IV, but it'd be very interesting to see if it's well balanced. I should think it is because they know what they're doing. But just bear this in mind when you're buying equipment. Everyone focuses so much on the image quality of a lens, which is fine, but actually physically using it is another matter. Now going on the plus side, from what I can see from reviews, the image stabilization is actually quieter, so that's almost silent, I think, for video, which might be a big thing if you're doing a lot of video. But when you start to look at it, they made a very, very good lens in the first place. Granted, you can get some purple fringing at 24mm. No lens is perfect. This lens isn't perfect, but to me, the main thing is the weight of the lens and the ability to flick the lens very quickly from 105 to 24, so you can get anywhere you want very quickly with a narrower zoom ring. Just get the 70 to 200 out. Again, when you go with the 2.8 lenses, just bear in mind that you can also do the same thing with these. So you're this end, you suddenly move, see something else you want very quickly. I need to be able to get there very quickly. So I'm literally, that is my wedding, flicking through these, dialing them in. I'm not a fixed and then move, I'm a reaction type photographer. So bear this in mind. There's reasons that I'm using this equipment. It's not just about optics. It's not saying that you should use it. I'm just saying when you're choosing your equipment, don't just think about the optical quality, megapixels. What you want to be thinking about is, can you physically use it at the wedding or for portraits? Can you use it quickly? Is it simple to use? Does it drive you mad? Sony's drive me mad. I teach a lot of photography and I go through all the cameras, Nikon, all of the cameras, and the thing I like about the Canon is the fact that it's very simple, and that's what I want. So I hope that helps. I know I've gone on a sidetrack there, but at the end of the day, just think about why you're using this equipment, what you're using it for, and there's more to it than just the optical quality. So the 5D Mark IV looks interesting. I'll have a go on that. Someone might lend me one. If you want to lend me one, I'll do a review on it. And the Mark II lens. I'll see if I can get hold of one, and we'll put it up against the 5D Mark I with the 24 to 105 Mark I, and that will be interesting. Hope that helps.